Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about the viral clip of the rapper Markelle Antonio Morrow, who also goes by the name of Goonew. So there's a viral clip of him making its rounds around social media where his body is propped up in a nightclub, and this young man lost his life. So that's actually a body propped up in a club. So we're gonna read this article from thefader.com. It says Markelle Antonio Morrow, the Maryland rapper who performed as Goonew, was shot and killed in District Heights, Maryland on Friday, March 18th. So he lost his life from Friday, March 18, 2022. The Prince George's County Police Department tweeted that officers had responded to reports of a shooting on the 3400 block of Walters Lane at 5:40 p.m. and that the victim had been pronounced dead at 7:30 p.m. at a local hospital. Morrow's manager later confirmed the victim's identity to the Washington Post. He was 24 years old. So this young man was only 24 years old and he lost his life, and it's alleged that they asked for his chain and some money, I think. He gave them what they asked for and then they still took his life. So he lost his life in a very violent way. So many people are upset the fact that how the decision was made for this young man's life to be honored in that way. Because, when we lose a family member, we always want to remember them in their good times. Even if they die a violent death. I've watched real life crime stories where they would tell the family member, I don't think you want to go and see the person that way. Remember them how you are used to remembering them. So every time people think about this young man, they are going to see that image. They're going to see that image. And then though we may be upset, but this could not have happened if the family did not give their approval. The family approved for them to do this. That's why it was done. So though we are upset and, angry or whatever it may be, disappointed, that's what the family chose to do. What we can do is learn a lesson from this. And the lesson in this is that when, and this is my opinion, when the decision or the advice or the talk of doing something like this came up, there was only emotions. There was only emotions in the sense that women, because when the research, I didn't see a father. Which men are logical. We women are emotional. That means we react, we make different decisions by our emotion. Does not mean we are not logical, but by our nature, we tend to make decisions by our emotions unless we come to understand our nature, and then we say, hey, I've been excited, I've been in grief, I was frustrated, I was angry, I did certain things, it didn't work out for me. I'm gonna take my time. That's when we learn. We cannot make decisions on emotions when we understand that. Just like men, certain things, they just, they gotta think about it. It has to make sense to them for them to make that decision. That's how men are. That's a little bit of men. I'm not saying I know exactly what men are, but they think logically. So when this decision was made, because as the mom said, it was when they took him away, it's like they took her away also. So she was not in maybe the right frame of mind at that time to make that decision. And then the decision was made, and this is what happened. Had there been logic, had there been a man there, his father, even though they still would have went with that, but there would have been different they would have had different measures in place, different rules, different things that they were going to do in order for it not to go viral like this. You understand? So this is what we have to learn from this. We cannot, as women, we have to take sometimes you just take a minute. Sometimes you just take an hour, take a day before we make certain decisions, especially when it's only you there and you don't have that male counterpart next to you. And people can say, oh, you don't need no man, you could do it. Yeah, that's why you need the man next to you, because sometimes we act on our emotions. Not all of us know that some things, hey, you have to take your time. You cannot make a decision. You cannot react how you are feeling. Yes, you're excited, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're sad, you're grief-stricken. Take your time before you make that decision. Not many people know this. And I remember I told my sister about it, my older sister about this. And I told her, like, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. Like 5 o'clock in the morning when I waked up to pray. And then I told her, I was like, this doesn't sit well with me. And then we had a conversation, and then she told me to send the video. And I was like, make sure you cover yourself with the blood of Jesus before you look at this. And I don't usually say that, but this, what happened there, what happened at this club, and the decision to remember this young man in this way, that's going to have a lot of spiritual implications, because the Bible tells us, let the dead bury the dead. And also says that do not remove the ancient landmarks. What is a landmark? Of all the definitions, there's one that says an event, discovery, or change marking an important stage or turning point in something. So a change marking important, do not remove that. It says let the dead bury the dead, because it was something that happened that caused them to say, hey, let the dead bury the dead. But now we live in a culture that celebrates death, that's celebrating death. And then they placed a crown on this young man. I'm not trying to say he's not a king, but we going spiritual here. What is a king? A king is a male sovereign or a monarch, a male ruler. But this young man is no longer with us. And people say, oh, that's what he wanted. He wanted to, he always liked to go out and stuff like that. Many times we say this is what the person wants. Sometimes we don't even know what these people wanted. We don't even truly know, because we don't sit down and have deep conversation and spend time with these people. Sometimes it's what we wanted. But anyway, that was made. And liquor was involved. And it's the fact that it's the way this young man lost his life in such a violent manner. And you in a club supposed to be celebrating, but you're not actually celebrating him, because he's no longer here. When you lose your life, it's over. It's over. So now you're not actually celebrating, especially in this manner with alcohol and in the venue and in the way he died. It's the way he died. And people drinking alcohol, just like Lovely Tea, drinking alcohol, which I learned that alcohol is I think in the Muslim culture, its significance meaning means spirits. So now you guys, not knowing whether you know or not, that's why God says, let the dead bury dead, because he knows why. But sometimes we got to know why. We got to find out. And then you're bringing up this spirit of death. Lord help me, Jesus. Bring up the spirit of death in that place. Sometimes there are ideas that come to our minds. It's not from this realm. It's some of these ideas are from the pits of hell, because he got this young man. This young man was able to lose his life. Maybe I could get a few more. Maybe I get a few more. Let me make some rounds, because remember, the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. God comes to give you life and give you life more abundantly. So now celebrating, and then you guys channeling the spirit of death upon your lives without you even knowing it. And many of us already have the spirit of death following us because of different decisions that we have made, the different generational curse that's following us. So now you're amplifying that was already was following you. And if you even listen to this young man's song, all he talks about was death. That's all he talked about. And many people say this is what he wanted and stuff like that. I'm sure he didn't want to be propped up in a club where his ops, because he talked about his ops a lot, was in there. I'm sure they was in there laughing at him, taking pictures and making a mockery. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted something like that. But sometimes we don't think that far. We don't think this far. And he was the mom's youngest. He was the youngest of all of her children. And the mother says all of his dreams and his aspirations was to take his family out of the hood. Because, you know, a lot of families is especially single parent homes. Many of the single parent homes is, since there's no man, is one of the kids that's supposed to take the family out of poverty. And that is the truth. So all of that falls on a young person for them to do what they need to do. Some people do it legally. Some people do it illegally because they need to care for their family, which was not something a child or a young person is supposed to bear. That's a mother and father's job, to put in the work to advance your family. But it was placed on this young man's. So he had this burden. So he went hard. Everything that he did was to get his family out of there. But when you have a child like that, like they put a crown on him because they saw him as a king. Children like that who do have the talents, because many of these kids, it's not that they can't do this. They have the talent. They have the intelligence. They have the drive to do what they need to do to get their family out of there. A child like that is a child you watch over. You cannot let them do anything they want. You have to pray over them, because that's the if the enemy coming in after your kids, that's going to be the first one he's going to come after, because that's your way out. And sometimes if he gets that one, he's going to be able to take everybody else out. So when we have kids, children or a child like that, we got to move differently. If I'm raising a king, what is a king? A male ruler. That means you're going to rule over different things. So I cannot raise you any kind of way. I cannot have you doing anything you want to do, because you are a king. You are a queen. I am a king. I am a queen. There's certain things I cannot do. There's certain lifestyle I cannot indulge in. If my focus is to get my family out of the club, I cannot waste my time flexing on the ground, flexing for my haters. The first check I got, even if we can't move to a home that we bought, but we're gonna get out. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. I may not be able to buy a mansion, but I'm gonna buy a triplex, duplex, so we can move out of here, because my focus is to get us out. And this, God says, do let the dead bury the dead. Let the dead bury the dead. But many times so many landmarks, so many things that was, this is how it is, this is how it was a long time, and then people change it. Because that's what we could do. We could do whatever we want, right? But we need to understand, whenever you choose to do whatever you want, there are consequences. You can say, oh, why are you saying this stuff on people? Oh, you're supposed to be optimistic. If the teacher says, do not touch my pencil sharpener without asking, and you wait until the teacher leave and then you just go touch it, and then, because it's always somebody, oh, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble. That is not being pessimistic. That's telling you the truth. You may not get caught today. May not get caught tomorrow, but eventually one day you're going to get caught because you didn't ask. You went behind the teacher back and you used a pencil sharpener. That is that. God said, do not let the dead bury the dead. That's what it is. And he knows the reason why. Because these things have spiritual implications. We may think that, oh, we're having fun. That was his last party. But we don't know the implications, especially the way he died. This is going to have great implications, great consequences. And many people will lose their lives, unfortunately. Because when we thought we were celebrating this young man's life, we were not. Because he was not supposed to. He was not supposed to leave this earth at the yet. That's a premature death, and a premature violent death. But sometimes it's the lifestyle we choose to live. It's the words we choose to speak over ourselves that causes us not to live the life that we're supposed to live. And since many people say that that's what he wanted, and since what was being done in there was celebrating the spirit of death, many spirits will haunt a lot of people, and it's going to tell you exactly. It's not going to be him. They're going to tell you exactly what he wanted. Sometimes we open up ourselves to things, and and sometimes even if you don't know, it's still consequences. Because even if you did not know, there are things. You have an intuition. You have your brain. It's going to tell you this is not right. That was not right. What was done was not right. That's why I have all these pictures. That is the way people were supposed to remember this young man. He was unable to. He wanted to take his family out of the where they were in the situation that they were in, and now he's unable to. Now, how you honor him? You do what he can't do no more. That's how you honor people. Oh, I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna get high. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But what the person truly wanted, he truly wanted to get that. That's how you honor the people that we love. Because he won't ever be able to do that. He won't ever be able. But somebody has to take. Who's going to take up that task? Who's going to take the baton? Because he can't do it. He can't do it no more. Man, this was such a. What happened to this young man was such a tragedy, and then this decision to do this was devastating. It was disturbing, and it was not it. This was not it. There could have been many different ways to choose to remember this young man. But now every time people think about him, when his name is mentioned, they're going to remember this. And it's not a good feeling. Because it gives you like this weird feeling, it's not good. Because like I tell you, I told my sister, cover yourself with the blood of Jesus. And I usually don't say that. But this, what these people did, is it won't be. It this has grave consequences, very much so. And I'm not trying to speak something. It's different. It's the decisions that were made. It was the decisions that were made. Let the dead bury the dead. There was a reason why God said that. There was a reason why he said that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.